we go. Okay, so let's get this party started. 8 point, you'll find out. 8.4, solving inequalities. The good thing about today is it's taking everything we've been doing. Let me try to make that clearer. And I'm going to zoom in too. It's taking everything that we've been doing and we're just applying inequalities to it. So it's just slightly new material, but not really, because we've done inequalities this year. Though I'm doubting that my 7th graders will remember that we did inequalities this year. Let's talk about what the word inequality means. Can someone give me, what is an inequality? What does it mean? What symbol or anything? What can you tell me about that word? Raise your hand. Gabby?
It's like equal or greater than, less than, equal to.
Exactly. Guys, the word inequality, she's correct. The word inequalities, we're talking about less than or greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, etc. Okay, so if you've forgotten, that's exactly what it means right there. That's what an inequality is. So it's basically taking the place of the equal sign. So you're doing what we've been doing, but instead we're using these symbols instead of the equal sign. Okay? So I know this is going to be hard, but you're going to have to think back when we did this. And we did do these. You got to think back to some of the rules. Okay? So first of all, when we are graphing inequalities, we deal with circles when we're graphing on a number line. Oh, Michael, you remember? Okay.
And then that made me remember.
So,
Really bad at something doesn't change that.
well,
Perfect.
see, circles when graphing. I'm ad-libbing here. Okay, so Michael, if I have a less than or equal to symbol or greater than and equal to symbol, is the circle going to be open or closed, or I should say solid?
Closed.
Very good. It's going to be a closed, or I should say solid, circle because it's including that number on the number line. Hopefully this is ringing a bell to some of you. Oh, I remember circles. Now, if you forgot which goes with which, open or close, okay, that's why we're doing this. If I have just a regular less than or greater than symbol, Emily, would it be a closed or open circle? Very good, Emily. We're talking about an open circle because it's not going to include that particular number. Hold on.
Just be
So, for example, let's say I have x is less than 1. And I want to graph that on a number line. And guys, especially since Aiden is new, Aiden, I don't have my students sit there and write out a bunch of numbers on both sides. No one's got time for that. So if we're dealing with 1, I'll write +1 and -1 so that we know which side is positive and which side is negative, because that's really all that we're dealing with. Now, question. Let's see, I'm going to pick on Michaela. Michaela, this is a less than symbol. Would the circle be open or closed?
Open.
Very good. It's going to be an open circle. And you can have your graphs in 2 ways. Some of my students like to put it over the number. So we're going to put it over the 1 because this is a +1, open circle. And Taylor, it says x can be any number. This is where it gets confusing. X can be any number less than 1. So where do I draw my arrow?
Left.
Very good. We're going to draw it to the left. Because it's saying X can be any number that's less than 1, but it's not including 1. So it can be a half, but it cannot be 1. That's why it's an open circle. Do y'all remember this now? Okay. Now, if you choose to put it on the line, I'm going to say or. You put your circle over the 1, and then you just kind of color in this. This one seems to be neater, easier to read, but I'm not going to count it wrong, whichever way you do it.
People do the bottom one?
Huh?
People do the bottom one?
Some people do the bottom one. I'm just saying I prefer up here because it's easier for me to read. Yes, Gabby? If it's just x is equal to 1, then you would just have a closed circle right here and no arrow. Okay, what she's saying is if it was x is equal to 1 and you needed to graph that on the number line, we can do that. Then it would just be, a closed dot there. No arrow going in any direction. Because it's saying x is only going to be 1.
What if it's not equal to it?
So if it's x is not equal to 1, and y'all better be putting these down. These are all very good questions. If x, basically that's saying x can be any number besides 1. So then we would have an open circle and the arrow would be going in both directions because it's saying x can be any number but 1. See, I think this is coming back to y'all. Yes, sir?
But it's kind of common sense, right? Like when you look at the question, can't you just go off by common sense?
What you're assuming everyone on this planet has common sense.
Or not common sense.
Sorry, I don't.
But
Today I don't have much common
but
sense.
just like if x is not equal to 1, then it's not equal to 1.
Yes.
I'm not a part of that 90% with common sense.
I'm right there with you today, Emily. Okay, so yes, you are correct. You know what? It's taken y'all like 3 days, but finally my class is awake. This is good. Your brains are working.
You said that as I on.
Okay. Hey, you're still here. How about if it's x is less than or equal to 1? What circle would that be, Aiden? Well, you wrote it down up here. You wrote it down in the notes. So would this be an open or closed circle?
Closed.
There you go. That's exactly correct. So I'm going to put a closed circle. And it's x is less than 1. It can be any number less than 1. So it's going to go this direction to include all numbers that are less than 1. And when we say closed or solid circle, it's because it's saying it can also be 1. So we want to include that. That arrow there is saying that we're going to include all of these numbers for infinity going that direction. But it's also equal to, so we're going to also include 1. Make sense? Okay, good. I'm going to give y'all a chance to catch up, and then we're going to move on. Are we all caught up? Emily, you got it? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's the stuff where you have to actually use your brain cells.
Oh man.
Reverse the inequality. Remember flipping it? reverse the inequality symbol when, anyone remember? With?
When you're dividing or multiplying by a negative.
Awesome.
Yay.
When multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number. So when you're dividing or multiplying by a negative, just because one of the numbers is negative does not mean you're going to flip that inequality. It's only, remember, that's a weird rule that, really confuses kids. But we got to remember, it's you flip or reverse the inequality symbol when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. And that's usually right there at the end when doing a true or alert, when we're isolating a variable. Good job. I'm glad you remembered.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's just not part of the percentage.
Izzy, are you still copying notes? You're good? Okay.
Will you bring blankets to school?
No. That you're already relaxed enough. You don't need to bring blankets to take that
High
further.
school does.
Joanne, you got it?
Um,
Almost? All right, cool. So you got it? Okay. You got it? Okay. Example, negative 4x plus 3 is greater than 23. All right, so we're doing what we've been doing for the last 2 days, but we're just, instead of having an equal sign, we're using a greater than symbol. So same rules apply. So let's see. Izzy, we're doing true alert. We're going to isolate the variable, get the x all by itself. So what do I need to do first? Yes, that's right. We're going to move the 3 over there. And we do it by subtracting because this is adding, so the opposite is subtracting. That cancels out, and I have negative 4x is greater than what, Izzy? 20. All right, Cecilia, what do I do next? Divide both sides by? What? What? There you go. All right, boys and girls, she's correct. We're dividing both sides by negative 4 because we're trying to get rid of the 4's and leave the x alone. That they're being multiplied together, so we're dividing both sides. Oh my, look here. Are we dividing by a negative? Yes, we are. So, Emily, what do I need to do?
Keep this on.
If I'm dividing by a negative,
You flip this on.
you flip it. That's right. We're going to flip it. So then I have x is less than, what is 20 divided by negative 4, Taylor?
5.
What?
Negative 5.
Very good.
Do you flip it if we're multiplying by -2?
Yep. Look right here. You just wrote that down.
Oh,
Now I know you're sitting right in front of me. I can see you are writing it down.
I did.
There you go.
I didn't take it in. I was just writing.
Okay, you need sleep.
I actually have been getting more sleep.
Oh my, then you need less sleep. All right, so when dividing by a negative,
Start running.
or you're dividing by a negative, so flip the sign. Yes, you have to write the graph.
Like
If
for all-
I write it on paper, what are you supposed to
I
do?
mean, like for all the problems.
I don't know. If the directions say to, then you need to. So, Cecilia, is this an open or closed circle? It's open, very good. And it's going to go over the -5. And Aiden is saying that x can be any number less than -5. So which direction will my arrow go?
So you would go left.
There you go. Because it's got to be any number less than -5. Perfect. Any questions?
Wouldn't that also mean that minus -4, it would be more than 20?
We're both confused.
Goes one direction.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, let's do another example.
Whoa.
Let's say I have -3 over 4x plus 8 is less than or equal to 23. Michaela, what do I do? Talk me through this problem.
-8.
Very good. We're going to get rid of the 8 first, not the 3/4 or the -3/4.
Does it matter if you did the 3/4?
It does. You always get rid of this one first. So I'm left with -3/4 x is less than or equal to what's 23 minus 8.
Hold on, wait, let me write this down.
No, go ahead.
Uh, 15.
Very good. 15. Okay, Michaela, what's my next step?
Divided by -3/4.
Divide both sides by negative. That's right, because this, even though this is like a fraction, it's being multiplied with the x. So the opposite is dividing both sides by -3/4. So over here, okay, now if y'all remember, here's a big mistake that both of my classes make. I need y'all to look up here first. All of you look up here. This is saying 15 is divided by -3/4. You have to write the 15 first. You have to. If you write -3/4 divided by 15, you will get a wrong answer. So you have to write, because it's 15 that's being divided by -3/4. So this has to go first. So Michaela, how do I divide fractions?
Keep, change, flip.
Keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep 15 over 1. We're changing the division sign to multiplication, and we're flipping the -3/4. So now it's -4 over 3. And then we multiply across. But can we do any cancellation, Michaela?
Yes.
Oh, which
No.
look right here.
Yes.
What? Okay, so what number can go into 3 and 15?
3,
That's right. How many times can 3 go into 15?
5,
Very good. How many times can 3 go into 3?
1.
Now we just multiply across. What is 5 times -4? Yeah,
It's not really.
take your
This
time.
does not look good.
It's okay.
Okay. Wait.
5 times
20.
what?
-20
Good. And 1 times 1.
over 1.
Very good. So I'm left with x. Now, do I need to do anything to this symbol?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're dividing by a negative.
Bingo. Do y'all see we're dividing by a negative?
C.
So then what do I do to my inequality sign, Michaela?
Flip it.
That's right. So we're going to flip it. And it's basically -20. Two mistakes my students make. No, three in a problem like this. Common mistakes. They'll write -3/4 first. They'll write -3/4 divided by 15 and get a wrong answer. Or they're so busy concentrating on all this work and making sure they don't make a mistake, they forget to flip the inequality. They forget that they're dividing by. That's an easy rule to forget, by the way.
And trying not to make a mistake, they make a mistake.
Bingo. And trying so hard to not make a mistake, they end up making a mistake. That's an easy thing to forget. And then the third thing, do you know how many kids will be doing all this and then put an equal sign right here? Because that's what y'all are used to. And so I laugh. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know what you're doing. You just forget.
It's wrong.
Wait, do you have a question?
Can we graph it?
Yep, we are. Everyone is.
Yeah.
So I have -20 over here and +20 over here. Aiden, is that an open or closed circle?
Close.
Very good. It's closed. So I'm putting a solid closed circle over -20. And Michaela, since this was your problem anyway, it says x can be any number greater than or equal to -20. So which direction will the arrow go?
To the right.
Excellent. Good job.
It's a question.
Huh?
As long as the x or variable or whatever is on the left side,
Yes, I know where you're going.
like,
The inequality tells you which way to go.
yeah, and that's like the end of the arrow.
Wait, what?
As long as the X is on that side, you are correct. But you know what? Kids will start doing that, and then when the X is over here, it messes them up. So I don't usually tell people that because they'll mess it up. But if you can figure that out, you're good. Does everyone have this down?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to another one.
That is how you could check it though.
Yep.
How?
Don't worry about it. It'll confuse you.
Okay.
2x is greater than or equal to -2x plus 8. All right, Emily, you are my next victim. Emily.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, this is a little bit hairy. Think back to yesterday now. Get rid of which one? That's right. We need to get rid of this one because we want our variable on the left side. Very good. So how do I get rid of this whole thing? Look at her go. We are adding 2x on both sides. She is correct. This is the one you need to move first, and that's how you do it. So what do I get now? 4x is greater than or equal to 8. What do I do now, Emily? By? Okay, we're dividing by 4 because we want to get rid of just the 4 this time and leave the x behind. And now, do I need to flip my inequality? Why not, Emily? Because we're not dividing by negative, so this inequality stays the same. So I'm left with x is greater than or equal to 2. Perfecto.
That wasn't bad. Making more sense. Wow.
There you go.
My skills weren't bad. They were incredible. Wow. Good job, Emily.
Okay, now, I want to give you this example. Does everyone have this, by the way? Any questions? Are you good at it, Izzy? Cecilia, you got it back there? All right. Guys, check this one out. -x is less than or equal to 2. Can I have a negative right there?
No.
No way, Jose. You can't have that. So what that's basically saying is that we're going to have to get rid of that. It is basically dividing both sides by -1. Remember, if we don't have a number here, we pretend it's 1. So we have to get rid of this. So when we do that, we have to also flip the sign.
Whoa. I thought that you just move it to the 2.
You also move it to, you change over here. But when dealing with an inequality, you have to flip the sign as well.
Does it do that with not equal to?
I have no idea.
Taylor, we have to say that in English, please.
What about this one?
No.
Let's see. Joanne, what would this answer be? Can I have this negative here? Okay, so what do I need to do?
Divided by both sides.
Yeah. Okay, so then what would my answer be?
X is greater than or equal to 2.
Perfect. She's correct. So this time, remember, we're applying that negative over here, so that 2 became a negative. It's basically doing the opposite of everything. Positive 2 becomes a negative 2. In this case, she started off with a negative 2, so it would be a positive, but don't forget to flip the sign. She did that. Perfect, Joanne. How what?
How did we get that?
It's like taking the two negatives and put them together to make a plus sign.
Yeah. And you're dividing basically by a negative. So when we divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign.
Would it be
And
negative?
Ooh,
everything over here.
I'll just change it.
Okay. That's why
Dividing will confuse me. We didn't
all
do
you
that.
need to know is this cannot be negative, so you change it to positive.
Okay.
Then everything over here is the opposite.
So if there's 2 negatives, then there are 2
No,
positives.
no.
Oh, there
You
go.
get rid of that negative,
Okay.
make it positive,
Yes.
and then whatever this is, it's the opposite.
Okay.
This is positive. I'm the teacher. This is positive. It became a negative. This is negative. It became a
Oh, I
positive.
get it.
There you go.
So get rid of the sign on the X and then change the opposite.
Yes.
Another one.
And make sure you change the inequality.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
okay.
no.
Y'all know it. All right. Examples, page 333. Let's go. Let's go.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Couldn't you just add 1 right by the X and then it would be fine?
Yeah, if you want to put a 1 there, but that I was going that direction, and some people were starting to freak out.
Wait, but would you still have to flip it?
If you put a 1 here,
Mhm.
well, yeah, because you can't. It'd still be a negative.
Wait, but on the one
Oh, my
before
word.
that, we had a 2. That
This was
negative.
not negative.
Because she didn't graph it.
Wait. Go up more, please.
Wit.
Wait, you're hurting your brain more than
What?
The negative 2x.
We moved that over here. We added. We didn't divide or multiply by any negative. We moved it over here, and it became 4x. The only time you flip the inequality is if you are dividing or multiplying by a negative, and we did not do that here.
I just won't put a number
Wait.
All right, Aiden.
I'm really a best friend.
Okay, go. But you're gonna miss all this. Okay. All right. 2. Solve and graph the solutions. There it says to graph it. So Taylor, are you going to graph it? Okay. So we have a over 6, bless you, plus 28 is less than or equal to 30. Cecilia, you're solving this one for me. So start talking.
Use the correct formula for 30.
Look at her go. You're correct. We're going to start here, and we do the opposite. So I'm left with a over 6 is less than or equal to what? 2. Good job. Okay, Cecilia. We're isolating the variable. What do we have to get rid of here? The a or the 6?
6.
That's right. So if we're dividing, what's the opposite, Cecilia?
Multiply.
So we're going to multiply both sides by 6. Now, Cecilia, do I need to flip the inequality?
No.
That's right, because we're not doing any negatives here. So if this 6 was a negative, which is kind of weird, but anyway, I don't want to talk. Okay.
No, I get it.
What is 2 times 6, Cecilia? There you go.
Wait, what? Oh. But
you just
3.
say
You understood.
All right.
I put 3.
So A is less than or equal to 12. It said to graph it. So Cecilia, is it going to be a solid or open circle?
I thought that was a fraction.
It was.
Okay, so it's going to be solid over positive 12. In Cecilia, it says A is less than or equal to 12. So which direction will the arrow go? She is correctamundo.
Wait, it was a fraction.
I'm confused.
Taylor, you're confused.
Where are you confused?
Why on the other one we put it, or we divided it by a fraction, but on this one we didn't?
Because the other one was a fraction with the x. And we needed to get rid of the fraction and leave the x. The fraction is being multiplied with the x, so to get rid of this whole thing, we would divide everything. Just like right here. We got to get rid of the 4 and leave the x. If these two are being multiplied, we divide both things so we can get rid of this. And that's what we did here. Even though that's a fraction, that fraction's being multiplied by the x. So to get rid of it, we have to divide everything by the 3/4. In this case right here, the A and the 6 are together in a fraction. So to be able to get rid of it, there's no dividing because the A and the 6 are what's being divided. So the opposite is multiplying.
Okay.
Good job. Does everyone have this down?
No.
C.
No.
Ooh, y'all are going to have homework today. It's already 10 o'clock. Nope, y'all are doing homework.
Okay. I have. Oh wait. What?
All right, we have to move on. What's your question?
Back on number 2 right here. So if it was. You know what? Never mind.
Okay. All right, number 4. Y'all need to pay attention when we're doing these. I have 400.
Oh.
We're still working. Minus 32x is greater than or equal to 720. Izzy, how do I solve this?
Subtract.
That's right, we're going to subtract the 400 because there's no sign before here. So that means it's positive. So we're going to subtract 400 on both sides. And I'm left with negative 32x is greater than or equal to, and I'll just do the work for you, 320. All right, now, Izzy, what do I do? Divide both sides by what?
Negative 32.
Very good, negative 32. Now, I'm dividing by negative, so what do I need to do with my inequality sign? That's right. For the sake of time, I'll do the math for you, Izzy. X is less than or equal to negative 10. Good job.
I have a question.
Sure.
So right here for negative 32x, if we were trying to move like the whole thing, like including
You
the
would
x.
add.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But in this case, we just want to get rid of. Okay, good. You're getting it. Okay, Izzy, is this solid or open circle? All right. In which direction is the arrow going? Perfecto. I'm going to do one more and I'm setting you free when everyone has this down. Got it? Izzy, you got it? Whit, you got it? All right, last one. 28. Michael, you haven't been a victim in a while.
Yesterday.
Well, that was yesterday.
That was like 24 hours ago, man.
All right. So, Michael, ooh, this is looking ugly. What do I need to do after you write it down?
Okay. Subtract. Wait, no, multiply 4.
Distributed property, right? There you go. You got it.
4 times x
Is what?
is 4x.
And
4 times -9 is -36.
very good. So 4x minus 36, and we're going to rewrite our problem, is less than x plus 3. Now, Michael, what do I do?
Add 36 to -36.
So you're adding 36 to both sides. Good, because we got to get the numbers on the other side. So I've got 4x is less than x plus 39. Right? Now tell me what to do.
You subtract x on both sides.
Perfect. We're going to subtract x on both sides.
And on the left side, it gives you 3x.
Correct. Is less than 39. Look at you go. Now what do I do?
Divided 3 divided by 39, it gets you 13.
And do I need to flip the sign? Why?
Because there's none negative.
That's right. And in these directions, Taylor, you do not have to graph. In fact, the whole next section after that one is you don't have to graph. You just have to graph the beginnings. Any questions?
No.
All right. Good job, guys. I think y'all have it. Just FYI, the more y'all don't pay attention, the slower we get, and the more time for possible homework you're going to have. So you're doing numbers 1 through 7 odd. Those you're going to graph also. Okay? And then you're doing numbers 21 through 29 odd.
No, you're just going to be 1 through 7.
And that's no graph. Yep. So I gave y'all some easy ones and I gave you some hard ones. This is going to be due Friday. You have a quiz tomorrow. Your test is Tuesday. And your IXL is due Tuesday.
The weeks have been going by so fast. That's a good thing.
39 divided by 3.
Wait, so we are doing the B part?
Oh yeah, yes.
You're doing those problems right there.
Right.